And continue. How do I want to do this? Why am I having so much trouble with a simple good morning? Good morning, Mr. Wright! Good morning. Oh, chipper as ever this morning, I see. I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. And I just splashed my face with some water to get some sleep out of my eyes. Oh, I also cued the swashbuckler. Cued? I mean, we would usually say that you would burn it onto a DVD or something like that, but okay. Oh, I also queued the swashbuckler video so we can watch it anytime. Sure. How about right now? So I can drink some water in the meantime. Watch some anime, everybody.
Captain Orla! Ye made it just in time! We be pirates, we love to sail the seven seas. Just a bunch of scallywags who are as free can be. We swim through storms and waves, all because you see grand treasure and adventures waiting just for me.
Alright, cool. Thanks for anime. Thanks. It might just help our case. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up watching this? Did you stay up late watching this? What? Me? No, I just woke up early, that's all. Guess I need to cover them up. I get ragged I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackwell. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while. That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing. That was a compliment, right? Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Rhymes. You came to watch the trial? Yeah. Sasha is back at the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I'd better come here to watch for her. To come watch for her. There we go. Well, don't you worry. We're going to win for Orla. Isn't that right, boss? Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. All rise. Oh yeah, my voice is hoarse. Court is now in session for the trial of Ora Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackwell, known as the Twisted Samurai. He's a prosecutor who's also a convicted felon. They say he never conducts a trial without his loyal hawk Taka by his side. Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. You look younger somehow. Thank you, Your Honor. And you look as young as ever yourself. Ha ha ha. Well, well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Surely you jest, Your Honor. Surely you jest, Your Baldness. Did you not receive the memo? Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, Ora Shipley, is an orca at Shipshape Aquarium. An orca? Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review. But an orca as a defendant? It's patently absurd! Direct your comments to the defense. He's the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? We are to proceed. We must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it of man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted in black or white. Take Taka, for example. He is as human in spirit as you or I. Scree! The real question is, am I in for more pain? As always. Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. Now then, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would. Statement. I suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well. Listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Shipshape Aquarium in the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died. A sadistic orca. What a chilling thought. And where exactly is this defendant now? Inside this. A cell phone, Prosecutor Blackwell? Time marches on, your baldness. With or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca. A TV phone? Very well. The court accepts it into evidence. There we go. Look at that. This model can connect to TVs and is used to conduct teleconferencing. Amazing. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Fulbright, prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You've got it, Prosecutor Blackwell! Oh my fucking god, this is so stupid, I love it. We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Hi. Oh, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on? Orla! Wish Phoenix and Athena luck. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? And this adorable creature is suspected of killing a man. Orla's really pouring on the charm, huh? She is far from cute. She's a violent, reckless animal. That's right. The name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced on over to the Shipshape Aquarium. There, we found a guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there. Therefore, no one else could have committed the crime. It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. Are you saying we're going to have an updated autopsy report? It's been too long. Instant death from brain contusion. There are signs of blunt force trauma all over the body, but no puncture wounds apparently. I can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. But attack it did. Prepare yourself for the grisly details, your baldness. The prosecution moves to introduce our witness. Fulbright! You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak, coming right up. How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby. Then why didn't you write it? Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, I am Norma de Plume, and I am a non-fiction writer. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here? Looks like she can read into people's words just as well as I can read into people's hearts. Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma de Plume? The great non-fiction writer Miss Norma de Plume herself? I've read all your works and enjoyed them immensely. Your million seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief, is one of my favorites. Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you my autograph if you'd like. Wait a second. I could swear you look much different in the photos in your book. Well, I use ones from 10 years ago in my book so that the paparazzi won't harass me. The judge seems so shocked. The visual disconnect must really be doing a number on His Honor's head. Could we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you will see your debut in my books. Such harsh comments. You really must be the real Norma de Plume. Who knew Miss de Plume was so famous? Enough jabbering. Tell the court what you saw, and keep it brief. I would thank you to not order me around. I'm perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder. Very well then. Please proceed with your testimony. What I saw. I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. That adorable defendant really did all that? It must be much more vicious than it looks. Now, deliver your judgment so that I may carry out the sentence.
Objection!
The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's all right. Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery?
Hold it!
The defense always has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know. Fellow inmate told me just this morning. If you want something signed, all you need is the document and a witness. Let me guess, they were convicted for contract fraud. They were convicted for contract fraud, right? All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that. Looks like I guessed it right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain. Ugh. Today is just a bad day for voicing stuff. Alright, show me that number 3 there. Yeah, suddenly went crazy, bit the victim. Let me show you that autopsy report real quick.
Objection!
It would seem that you are mistaken, Miss de Plume. I beg your pardon? The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be the result of an orca attack, but the actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten. What? But I'm sure the victim was bitten. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind.
Objection!
Just as I suspected. I knew you would peek at the footage behind Fulbright's back. Well, what did you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share? But, unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all the evidence. Taka, the evidence I gave to you for safekeeping. Scree! Oh my. Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright and Blackwell. I guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright in Blackwell's book. Very well, let's see the footage. Let's view the footage. Oh my. That is definitely a body. What's this? The orca is biting the victim. No way! That's not good. Are you sure it's biting the victim or carrying the victim? I have to say, this appears to be very damning evidence. 2 pages of video. No, I can't believe Orla really bit him. And there's more. Look at this. His clothes seem to be fine. I don't see a single puncture wound there, guys. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist. Oh, hey, there is. I'll have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate its relevance to the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Look at the left side of the body. See the orca's tooth marks in the victim's clothes? Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did in fact bite the victim, but the rest of the clothes are just fine. Oh hey, okay, you added it to that. I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up towards the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma.
Objection!
You are much too impetuous, Wright Dono. Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. Then what explanation is there for what the witness saw? Did I not say in the beginning, the orca toyed with the victim mercilessly? My goodness. After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like any other predator toying with its prey. Ugh. Mr. Wright! Hearts of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear. Fear of Orla. So the defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have a sound theory to give to this court? I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white. But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, word mistress. Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim. Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it? Now, explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand. There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant! Oh, but whatever. I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim by headbutting him. Oh, that's plausible. Orla killed the victim by headbutting him? That's right. It rammed the victim over and over again. Recall that the autopsy report stated that there were bruises all over his body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey. And we all just saw the killer whale headbutting the victim in the footage, don't forget. That footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony. There's also something very important it does not show. Now do you see what a menace this killer whale is?
Objection!
I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim. Oh? What? I want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? What? Oh, well, I suppose not. I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? God, that's so weird to hear. Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view. So are you admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes. Well, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. He came up from behind the skull-shaped rock, and his body was all limp. What else could I think except that the killer whale was headbutting the victim?
Objection!
But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture.
Objection!
Must I do everything around here? How dare you speak so rudely to me? There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Now you couldn't see what the orca was attacking. You didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had only 1 year prior. Oh. 1 year ago? That's right. Yes, that's it. That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim. I'm sorry, but could someone explain exactly what happened a year ago? If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year, in which the defendant murdered her trainer. What? The orca murdered her trainer, you say? What? Is this really true? Oh, this is not looking good for us. The killer whale. It's all in this book. That book. The killer whale. That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. Oh. That's a very big walkie-talkie. And it looks like the bite mark is missing teeth. And also in the walkie-talkie specifically. Last year, the defendant killed her trainer in the middle of the show. The orca headbutted and bit the victim. The same thing she's accused of in this case. That orca killed 2 people? That thing is a menace! Guilty! Guilty, I say! I never want to go to the beach again! No! Now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it. We were doing so well. But now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. I don't want to think she did it. But it's hard to keep on believing in somebody who can't even tell me her side. Oh, but she's so cute. Phoenix, Athena, you gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her. Please, I'm begging you. Sasha. What am I doing, doubting my client like this? This is the time to be strong. I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll take everybody in this courtroom on if I have to. Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. We're Orla's lawyers. We are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now. For an instant there, you were afraid of the orca, weren't you, Wright Donal? When you saw the photograph of the victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me. She saw right through me. It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend the orca. It's true that Orla can't speak, and I don't know her thoughts. But there's a certain someone who believes in Orla with all her heart. I respect the trust she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too. And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. So, allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they are cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales. So killer whales really are killers. What a terrifying creatures indeed. I can't bear to hear any more such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your baldness? No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know. Dullard, you don't know when to give up, do you? Very well. I shall give you a chance to prove just how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter and lay the full truth on them. But of course, that's what I do after all. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? I shall have her testify about what she saw and what she heard. What she heard? Very well. Mr. Plume, please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. What I saw and what I heard. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it start to headbutt. But when the pirate hat and the victim came floating up, I let out a scream. So the orca displayed the same behavior as during the incident a year ago. That's right. Those weren't just simple cries. It was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang the Swashbuckler's Spectacular song. That's right. It was singing the same song it sang in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing it while headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible. I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. It's clear I won't be able to take apart her statement with evidence alone. Which means it's time to press. Never mind, it's time to, feel. Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do. You seem pretty confident. Let me guess. You noticed a contradiction between the testimony and her emotions? You bet I did. And once we expose it, we just might be able to crack her. No scratch? No, scratch that. Make it, we'll definitely be able to. Also, hold on, I'm gonna read for a second. Never mind, there's no reading to be done. Now let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try. You got it, boss! A complete analysis of Mr. Plume's heart coming right up. We didn't even ask the judge if it was all right to do some therapy. Oh well. Exactly the same. I let out a scream. Do you see any emotions that seem odd or out of place? Pay attention to not only which emotions you see, but how strong they are too. An emotion might suddenly get stronger, for example, or you might see it grow weaker. Okay, let me listen to her testimony again. Alright, look for the strength. Why were you less scared? Never mind. Wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. I mean, I guess let's look at the big sadness then? Mr. Plume, Orla really frightened you with her headbutting, didn't she? Don't be absurd! I was certainly not frightened by the likes of any killer whale! Must have been something else that scared her then, boss. However, I do remember being very afraid for some reason while I was doing that. It sounds like maybe you saw something we haven't discussed yet. Take your time and try to remember what it was. What did you see? This is practically turning into a counseling session. I saw something? Oh, I remember now. Okay, good. Now, if you could please tell the court what you saw. I saw bright red blood. The killer whale's ramming caused the victim to bleed. There was a great cloud of blood. Oh, no. Yes, that's it. That's why I was so sure. That's when I knew the killer whale had killed a person for a second time. Well, that was a very compelling statement indeed. Looking at this again, there does appear to be something that could be a cloud of blood. So her terror was a reaction to blood, was it? That would certainly explain what happened yesterday. I was badly injured during an interview once. Ever since then, I've been terrified of blood. The very sight of it dreadfully upsets my delicate sensibilities. This is a bad turn. If Mr. Plume saw blood, then does that mean Orla really did attack the victim? It would appear that orcas are even more vicious than I am. So, how does it feel to be thoroughly rammed by your own cross-examination, Wright Dono? What do we do now, boss? That testimony was not at all what I expected to hear. Wait a minute. There is still some discord left in Mr. Plume's heart. What? You mean there's more? Yes, but there's no telling what it is. It could be something even more damaging. Is there even anything left of our case to damage? Oh, well, whatever it is. We have to face it head on. Athena, you believe in Orla, right? If so, there's no reason for us to shy away from the truth. Yeah, you're right. I know we can handle the truth, whatever it is. So let's delve a little deeper. You got it, boss! Just a tiny bit sad. Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit. Huh? Her fear appears to lessen here at this statement. Mr. Plume, weren't you afraid when you saw the victim with blood coming out of him? My, that's a very good question. I was shaken after witnessing a murder, yes, but then the blood seemed to disappear. Disappear? Why do you suppose that was? Simple. It was because of the pirate hat. After the killer whale put the hat on, the cloud of blood disappeared.
Objection!
And how exactly does that work? How should I know? I'm just telling you what I remember, Blue Boy. Wait a minute. From whom was this blood? From whom was this blood that Mr. Plume saw actually coming from?
Take that!
Consider this. Maybe the one who was bleeding wasn't the victim. I beg your pardon? What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? There was no one else in that pool besides the victim. No, I wouldn't say that there was no one else. It is an orca pool after all. What? And where is the alleged injury on the defendant? I'm not sure, but if simply wearing the pirate hat made the blood disappear, then the blood must have been coming from somewhere on Orla's head. What? The orca's head? What are you prattling on about now? Please think about it again, Mr. Plume. Think back to what you really saw. Think back to what you really saw. That is... The one who was bleeding was not the victim, but the killer whale? I remember now. There wasn't any blood coming from the victim after all. God, seeing the whale with the hat on is so silly every single time. How does he do it? How does he keep the hat on underwater? Johnny. We did it! Analytical psychology got us what we needed from... Analytical psychology got us what we needed from her. There we go. Analytical psychology got us what we needed from her. And then all in one piece. There we go. That was a huge help, Athena. It was also pretty dicey for a while, though. Well, this is a surprise. The blood the witness saw was the defendant's, not the victim's. That is correct. And since there was no blood coming from the victim, there's only one thing we can conclude. That what Mr. Plume witnessed was not the moment of the murder as she claims.
Objection!
I thought you were unarmed, but it turns out you were concealing a sword all along. Nevertheless, it is far too dull to cut to the bone. Meaning? I grant that what the witness saw was not the victim's blood, but it proves nothing. After all, being rammed doesn't always result in a wound that bleeds, does it? Death from internal hemorrhaging is also a possibility. Oh, he has a point there. If you wish to challenge me to a duel, you'll need a sharper blade than that, Wright, Donal. I demand evidence that proves the witness did not see the moment of the murder. Must be something. Think, Phoenix. If I'm correct, then the victim's death occurred... If the victim was already dead when Orla started her headbutting, and that would mean he died sometime before Mr. Plume was watching her. The events that Mr. Plume witnessed took place at around 10:10 a.m. It must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m.
Take that!
Damn. Damn! Huh? I'm not sure that's really related to what Mr. Plume did or didn't witness. Okay. I jumped on a different timestamp a little too soon. Ow, ow, ow. There goes a little bit of my bar. I guess the fish?
Take that!
Nope, not at all the fish. Not at all the fish. Oh, it doesn't even mark the... Okay, yeah, there it does. 7 a.m. Oh, right, because the coins were in the pool already.
Take that!
Never mind. Hold on. Was this same day?
Take that!
Skip the rest of that dialogue. My badge tells me about it. I mean, I guess they could be possibly talking about the head trauma?
Take that!
No? Which thread are we trying to grasp? Which straw? This happened before 10:10 a.m. I'm sure. Your Honor, he's time traveling.
Take that!
No, I'm not. You have no evidence of me time traveling. Because the second you have evidence of me time traveling, it's gone. Okay, there's no way they want me to just present the security footage again, right? God fucking damn it. So it's the obvious answer that I was like not even thinking about because it hasn't been presented in my face yet. Something happened before. Let's check the footage. We've only seen the footage from 10:09 to 10:10 a.m., which means there's still footage going further back than that we need to check. Yeah, why wouldn't you check earlier already? Your Honor, I request that all of the security footage be played for the court. All of the footage? Mr. Plume witnessed the cloud of blood at around 10 a.m. But I believe the victim was already dead by that time. So your assertion is that the murder took place before Mr. Plume arrived? Exactly. The security camera footage starts at 10 a.m. when the aquarium opened. And I believe there is vital evidence in the 10 minutes before. You are quite the gambling man, Wright Dono. Are you honestly willing to risk everything on those mere 10 minutes? I've bet on slimmer chances before, but when he puts it that way... My boss is no coward, Prosecutor Blackwell, so I suggest you get ready to eat humble pie. Uh-oh. I can't back down now. Well, if the defense is that confident in its importance, Prosecutor Blackwell, the security footage. Fulbright. Roger! I have the rest of the security footage right here. Very well. Please play it for the court. Please, play it for the court. Please, please have something for me. This is what it looked like at 10:10 a.m. The witness can be seen here. Alright, I'll just back the footage up to the beginning now. N06. It appears Mr. Plume hasn't arrived yet at this point. Oh, and I just noticed that the coins aren't down there either. I'm sure they would be shimmering in this footage if they were down there. Oh, but that still seems off. Now to see if I can find something from before this point in time. I think the importance of this footage is that we never saw the body get there. It's been down there for 10 minutes. Is that it? Yep, that's all the footage there is. Well, Mr. Wright, did you see what you want? Did you see what you were looking for? We got nothing. Well, Wright Dono, those were the 10 minutes you placed your bet on. Do you see anything of significance? Did I see anything important? I'd better think about this carefully. In the footage, we see something incredibly important.
Take that!
And what is so vital about that point, Mr. Wright? Different things are important to different people. Importance is a subjective thing. Yes, just as my decision to assign a penalty is a subjective thing. Well, okay, Wright is very correct here. Important is different things to different people. I saw something very important. Yes. Yes. And that's what's important. Our definitions of important are very different, like you just said, Wright. Oh my god. I'm going to save anyway because I'm at my last stock. Unbelievable. It's important to me, but not important to you. We can see nothing of importance in that footage. Just as I thought. You're right about that. That section was completely meaningless. It doesn't show a thing. That's why I didn't submit it as evidence.
Objection!
No, it's just the opposite. Huh? What do you mean by that? In this 10 minutes of footage, something important that should be there isn't there. Detective Fulbright, this footage should have been submitted as evidence. What? Are you questioning the way I carry out my duty to justice? Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Explain yourself, please. What is this important thing that you say should be in the footage but isn't? Photo of the body, I guess. The important thing that we should see in the footage is the victim himself, Jack Shipley. I don't know about you, but I didn't see him get in the pool in that footage. Oh! Ah! That's right! If the victim is not shown entering the pool in this footage, it means that he must have been up there by the Skull Rock during the... It means he must have been there by the Skull Rock during those 10 minutes. But no human being can hold their breath underwater for that long. Wait a minute. Are you saying... When the security cameras started up at 10 a.m., the victim was already dead. Oh! If that's the case, then when was the victim murdered? I don't know, Your Honor, but we know it had to have been somewhere... It had to have been some time before 10 a.m. Therefore, this footage can no longer be called decisive evidence against my client. But there is no one else who could have killed the victim. Not necessarily. The defense believes that the true culprit may have been human. And we have evidence to back up our theory as well. Do you now? I would be very interested in seeing this evidence. The defense's trump card. A thing we found during our investigation yesterday. I wouldn't go so far as to call it decisive, but now's the time to play it. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please, submit your evidence. What evidence shows that the crime may have been committed by a human? Coin! What's this? A coin? Yes. A fake coin used in the aquarium's pirate show. We found it beside the pool. This coin is quite possibly the real murder weapon. This tiny little coin is the murder weapon? Mr. Wright, if this is another one of your bluffs. As they say, the bolder the presentation, the less confident the solicitor. This is no bluff, and it isn't the only coin. There are 300 of these coins in all, weighing a total of about 7 pounds. This one just happens to have blood on it. Did you have the blood analyzed to see whose it is? Not yet. But there were coins scattered all around the body, and the victim had a head wound. Taking these things into account, I believe it has to be the victim's blood. So, to put it together, we have about 7 pounds of coins by the side of the pool. One of them with a blood stain on it. I think the answer is pretty clear here. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the victim was killed beside the pool. The side of the pool? But if the murder took place there, it would be difficult to say the orca did it. I realize you are trying to defend your client, but that theory is preposterous. How could 300 coins possibly be made to hit someone all at once? It'd be pretty easy if they were in a bag or something of that nature. And so, where is this bag the coins were in? Unfortunately, Your Honor, we recovered nothing of the sort from the scene. It's possible the culprit took it with them. They took it? The true culprit used the coins as a blunt instrument to commit murder, then threw the body into the pool before the security cameras started up. And then they left, taking the bag the coins were in with them. They got rid of the evidence that points to a human culprit to pin the blame on Orla. That was brilliant, Mr. Wright! You found a way to introduce the possibility of a human perpetrator. Yeah, somehow. Let's hope my luck holds out. I wonder why Prosecutor Blackwell hasn't said anything. The possibility of a perpetrator other than the defendant has now been suggested. But if we hold this possibility to be true, then what did Miss DePlume witness? That's right! That's right! I saw the killer whale attack the victim. Just like it did a year ago, singing a song. Guess there is still that. Even if somebody else is the culprit, Orla's behavior still seems pretty bizarre. I wonder why she was doing the same things she did years ago. But is it really that bizarre? What do you mean? To explain the inexplicable, all we have to do is turn our thinking around. Turn our thinking around, huh? Sounds good to me. Time to give the old turn my thinking around method a try. Instead of trying to figure out why Orla did the same things she did a year ago, I should consider the results that were produced by her behavior this time around. Orla sang a song, did some headbutts, and bit the victim. If the real culprit wanted to shift the suspicion onto Orla, then they would have needed to give people a reason to think Orla did it in the first place. Mr. Wright, as her lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? I believe we should think of it in this way, Your Honor. What kind of effect did Orla's actions have on the case? Very well. Then why don't you explain it for the court? How did the defendant's actions affect the case? They did not kill the victim. They quote-unquote killed the victim, but they created a witness. That's the most important thing. I think the thing that mattered, God, what was her name? Norma DePlume. I think the fact that DePlume was there doesn't really change too much from the killer's perspective. It would probably be more convenient if we did not see that cloud of blood, or we did not investigate that cloud of blood. But what's important is that we created a witness. At the very least with the camera. Mr. Plume focused her attention on the orca pool because she heard the song. The orca's act of singing a song created a witness. Created a witness? Isn't it possible that fabricating a witness was the real culprit's true intention? After all, Mr. Plume witnessed two things. She saw Orla headbutt something over and over, and she saw the orca bite the victim. Those two actions of Orla's might have been the real culprit's plot to make the witness think the orca was attacking the victim. Okay, maybe it was part of having the Plume be there. Are you saying that the defendant was being manipulated by the true perpetrator? Exactly. And that would explain Orla's actions perfectly. But the defendant is an orca. Is it even possible to manipulate her? Yes, there is a way to manipulate Orla's behavior. With this.
Take that!
Is this a whistle? Yes, Your Honor. Trainers at the aquarium use whistles to issue commands to Orla. But, in truth, anyone can do it, provided they know the right signals. Ah, that must be how they get Orla to do tricks for their pirate shows. The true culprit hid the body in a spot that couldn't be seen from the visitor's corridor. Then, when Mr. Plume appeared, they gave Orla the commands. In other words, Orla was manipulated by the culprit to perform a series of tricks. What? And, as for you, Mr. Plume, you were manipulated by the true culprit to play the part of the witness. Norma de Plume was set up? Norma de Plume, writer extraordinaire, was used? No! Oh my god, there goes all the buttons. That's really impressive, considering that half of those buttons are decorative. Mr. Plume, please do something about your attire. Oh, that was one wardrobe malfunction I did not want to see. It would appear we need to shift our suspicion towards someone other than Orla. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have the blood-stained coin analyzed. You waste your breath. I guess even Prosecutor Blackwell can't refute the possibility of a human suspect. You did it, boss! If the crime happened beside the pool, there's no way an orca could have done it. Now, if only we could find the bag the coins were in. In light of the new discovery, it would appear that the orca couldn't have done it. Exactly, Your Honor. If the blood on the coin proves to be that of the victim, we can unequivocally overturn Orla's accusation.
Objection!
Orla's accusation. Oh, shit. Overturn the defendant's accusation? I think not. Not my hair! Okay, it respawned. Yesterday, a new inmate was brought into the prison. He said, the moment you relax is when you're most vulnerable. And that's probably why he was caught. And what did this man go in for? He is merely a sneaky thief who enjoys a spot of fishing now and again. The right donor here would be easier to hook than any fish. Scream! And Hawk sure does love the judge's head. You had the bag all along, you bastard! I can't believe you've been withholding evidence all this time. What's this? That coin from before and some sort of bag? Bag? I don't think I'm gonna like this. This is the coin bag that 300 coins were in. I believe you were looking for this? How did you get that? I never said we didn't find anything at the crime scene. The bag had blood on it, so naturally I had it sent to the crime lab. And does the blood belong to the victim? It does indeed. As does the blood on the coin. I knew it. So the blood on the coin did belong to the victim. The bag was open and the coins had all spilled out. But the bag alone wasn't proof enough to say it was used as the murder weapon. However, thanks to the defense and their coin, I am more than satisfied that it was. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you conceding that the true culprit committed the murder with a bag of coins? I shall concede that the victim was put into the pool after his death. However, even with the bag, it doesn't change the fact that it was the orca that killed the victim. What? How can you still suspect Orla? You said that the true culprit manipulated Orla's behavior. Orla isn't the kind of orca that would let someone control her. Oh, if anything, Orla used the victim's behavior against him to murder him. What? But are you arguing that the orca manipulated a human being? To prove it, I have summoned another witness. Marlon Rhymes. Take the stand. But Marlon Rhymes is a witness? Well, don't just stand there. State your name. I told you I didn't want to be a witness. I thought one witness would be quite enough to prove the defendant's guilt. But apparently, Wright Dona wouldn't be satisfied until every stone is turned. Well, son of a... All right, fine. If I gotta talk, then let's get this over with. Mr. Rhymes doesn't seem like a willing witness. Wonder what Prosecutor Blackwell is going to have him testify about. So, can we have your name and occupation for the record, witness? Ahoy! Yo! Yo! Yo ho ho! People of the law, time to testify! Chilling with my crew at the ship shape. Orcas, penguins, and the seascape. Cleaning and feeding, there ain't no end. But them bratty kids, tours, I shall transcend. New animal keeper from the house of rhymes. I'm the master keeper, Marlon with the rhymes. You rhymed rhymes with rhymes. You suck. Oh my, I'm afraid I couldn't understand a word you said. Is that flip-flop music young people nowadays like? So close, Your Honor. So close. And yet so far. Please, proceed with your testimony, witness. Without the flip-flop. Okay, fine. But I don't want to do this, I tell you. I feel like I'm selling Sasha out. He's got his fish with him still. At about 10:10 a.m., I was in the staff room. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to the door to look in. I couldn't see the captain or the orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. The orca knows there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with her. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there and hit the captain. That gives us a little more info about the area around the orca pool. The defendant made the stuff fall down. I want to see more about it. Wait, was it this one? Wait, which one did you update? It was this one, right? Yeah, well, whatever. Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered all over the pool room floor. There's no doubt that it was... Okay. There is no doubt that it was the orca that caused the mess. But could she really have done that from within the pool? As I said, the orca is the only one that could have performed such a feat. The pool and its room were tidied the night before, including its various odds and ends. But when our rhyming Marlin took a look-see, over 400 pounds of props had fallen. To move it all in one go would challenge even the brawny prisoner of the cell next to mine. To move it all in one go would challenge even the brawny prisoner in the cell next to mine. What is he? The jail gossip? So, how did 400 pounds of items fall all at once? I'll tell you how. Oh, loud sound effect. The orca pulled on the cloth that was underneath them. The weight that would be all but impossible for a human to move was child's play to an orca. During a friendly game of volleyball, the defendant made the crates fall, and the bag of coins was among the items fell. The bag of coins that was among the items fell on the victim's head and killed him. The orca then toyed with the victim's body underwater, which is what Mr. Plume saw.
Objection!
But the witness only said he heard a loud noise. That does not automatically make it the sound of Orla making the items fall. Also, why did you only look in on the pool room anyway, Mr. Rhymes? That orca sometimes make a loud noise to summon her trainer. But I'm still a newbie, so I don't have a security card to get into the pool room yet. So even if she tries to summon somebody, there isn't much I can do about it. I see. So the witness couldn't enter the crime scene.
Objection!
If Mr. Rhymes couldn't enter the room, there's at least one thing he can't be sure about. His statement that the orca was playing volleyball is purely speculation.
Silence!
Whether the orca was actually playing volleyball or not is not the issue. Traces of the orca's saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. The important point is the orca is the only one that could have moved the items. I have to discredit that statement somehow. I don't mean that Orla was the culprit, even if the victim died beside the pool. As I stutter. It's cross-examination time. Someone to the door to look in. Couldn't see the captain or the orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. Let's press that. Are you saying you think she knocked down the items on purpose? I don't want to believe it myself, but that orca's pretty smart. It'd be easy for her to pull the cloth that stuff was on while she was playing volleyball. Orcas are really strong. One good pull and all those things would come crashing down. I guess maybe an orca could be strong enough to make that much stuff fall. I've never seen an orca play tug of war myself. But the fact is, this one did. The traces of the orca's saliva found on the cloth prove it. How long do you plan to walk tightrope on those shaky theories of yours? Walk tightrope on those shaky theories of yours. On those shaky theories of yours. Wait until you see me do acrobatics. Moments like these are what I became a lawyer again for. I don't know why, but Mr. Rhymes is lying. I'm afraid I have to expose that secret he and Pearls were keeping to resolve this. Right, yeah. You were in the feeding room! You say you were in the staff room, but is that really true? Of course it's true. Why would I lie about a thing like that? Mr. Rhymes, have you ever seen this calendar before? Hey, that's... I see you recognize it. Yeah, that's the rifle calendar. It's a big hit at the Shipshape Aquarium gift shop. Thank you for shopping at Shipshape. Mr. Rhymes, please refrain from scattering fish about around the witness stand. Not to worry, your baldness. Taka will have them cleaned up in no time. Hell yeah, go get him, Taka. It's feeding time. I guess that bird comes in handy now and then. All right, Mr. Wright. We've all seen your cute souvenir. Now, if you wouldn't mind... no, Your Honor, this isn't my calendar. It was originally the witness's, but it came into the possession of a certain young lady. What? Mr. Rhymes and this young lady first met each other in the food prep room. After a mishap, their calendars got switched around. They ran into each other at around 10 a.m. in the food prep room. So clearly, the witness was not in the staff room. In other words, he's sus! There's no way he could have been... In other words, there's no way he could have heard the noise in the pool room upstairs. Yar! What's this? This is the first I'm hearing about any calendar. That's because Mr. Rhymes and Pearls were keeping it a secret. You lied to me? This transgression will not go unpunished. Arr! So, Mr. Rhymes, you didn't hear the noise of the equipment falling after all, did you? Okay, I admit it. I didn't hear the noise in the orca pool room myself. But somebody told me about it. Who told you about it? Crab. It was, Unless you tell the truth, Mr. Rhymes, I can't save Orla. And I'm sure you know how sad that would make Miss Buckler. I heard about it from Sasha. What? From Miss Buckler? But that doesn't make sense. What is going on here? Now it's the trainer's own words that drive the orca into a corner. How do you like being bitten by your own client, Wright Dono? Oh, I certainly didn't see this coming. What perfect timing. It was something I wanted to ask Miss Buckler about the orca. The prosecution calls the trainer, Miss Sasha Buckler, to the stand. Yes, I suppose it would be a good idea to hear what the orca's trainer has to say. I don't know what Sasha is going to say, but I'll just have to meet it head on, whatever it is. We will take a 20-minute recess. We will take a 20-minute recess while the witness is summoned. To be continued. Big recess. Big save. And I'm actually going to stop things here. My voice has been a little hoarse, so I'm going to rest it up for the rest of the day. And hopefully when we start up tomorrow, I do my mouth exercises so I can actually release the tension and pronounce words and not stutter as much. Thanks for stopping by. Until then.